one of the assumptions I think that often gets made is, if I really wake up, spiritually enlightened people are somehow all the same. And yet, you look around the world, you look around your neighborhood, you realize it's just not true at all. It's not true at all. It's my favorite examples of the great difference is, because I think most people know them, as a guy like Ramana Maharshi and Jesus Christ. I mean, you're talking about very, very different people and very different expressions in life, and they were really bringing very different things forth. And it's one of the reasons, and one of the things that I've always actually appreciated about the Christian story, about the Jesus story, is it's not simply a story only of transcendence. It's also it's a more honest story in many ways than we often get in most of the spiritual traditions. It seems that the enlightened ones, men or women, whoever they may be, are depicted as absolutely perfect. And most humanity is sanitized out of them. And this leads to a real confusion and I think for many of us it leads to a lot of confusion. The nice thing I've always found about the Jesus story is there are these moments of real humanity, real human moments, fear, despair, and not just negative human moments, but also great love and great compassion. And but I think there's something that I found. I think I was like Hamid, and I think like a lot of people that get into spirituality is we have at some moment, hopefully, we sort of transcend this whole personal consciousness. And when it's in any moment if it's transcended deeply enough, then it seems like it's completely not there. It's disappeared. A lot of us, therefore, walk away with the impression that that's the ideal, that I can stay in that, I'm supposed to stay in that state where there's no personal consciousness whatsoever. It would seem easy to see through this particular illusion because it's not particularly functional. There's a lot of capacities that we don't have. And one of the things that surprised me in my own spiritual process was having come upon whatever one wants to call it. It was a sense of freedom. We'll just put it that way, so it doesn't get blown into some big thing. But the sense of just real freedom, real liberation, and it seems in that place that there is. That's it. That's it. That's what it's about. It seemed like that to me for quite a while. And it was very curious when something started to move. It was not any kind of suffering, but it was a strange thing that started to move. It was like something else was trying to come into consciousness. Something else was being known at the periphery and didn't know what that was. And then over time, it started to become much more clear that what I realized is that this whole spiritual process didn't seem to be simply about spiritual awakening or what we think it is. Spiritual awakening is, or enlightenment. That was actually a doorway that made something else possible. And I started to get... Now that was not an idea that I had heard. I'm sure it probably had been out there. I don't know. I'm sure other people have seen this before. But it was really surprising to me. What is that? What is that thing? What is trying to... And it was having to do with something that was trying to express itself, some sort of expression.